Hi guys, today as you can see I'm going to show you how to make a bee, and then we're going to do a project. I really love bees at the minute, I don't know why, and I really thought it'd be good if we done a canvas with loads of bees on, bit of mixed media, some honeycomb, you know, that kind of thing. So first of all we'll make the bee. Now I used that for the wings, and then very simply that for the body and that for the head, and then we drew the legs, kind of like we did with the dragonfly when we done that. If no one's seen that, they can catch it on my YouTube channel. So first of all, the body, we're just going to bring this down because you can change it to any size you like. And then we're going to duplicate it because we need one that's going the other way, but that is just a little bit smaller. You want it kind of sticking out the sides a bit, and I've done it a bit flatter as well, so it's like that. And then the head on the top of that, not too much up. So then what I done, I just wanted to make sure it was in line, so I centered it, and then that was it really. I just welded it together, and that's the shape I got. So it looks a bit funny at the minute, I know. These are the wings, so we turn them to the side. I made them a bit longer and not as full. Duplicate, made this one a bit smaller. I got a bee picture to copy this one so that I was getting the right kind of shape, and I followed that. So if you want to do that, that does sometimes work a bit easier. So we've got two shapes like this. I've made the points come together at the end and weld that too, and it gives you the kind of similar shape. Again, you can stretch it, or you know, whatever you're comfortable with. And they're going to attach to the middle part of the bee, so then you'll duplicate it and flip it sideways. Let's just get this one out of the way, and then you're going to attach it to the other side. But what we're going to do is make sure that they're centered that way, which is this one. Oh, I shouldn't have done the bee, apologies for that, because it's only them two that we want centered. Okay, do they look about right? Maybe this one can come out a little bit, and then we'll weld them as well. So that's the main part of the bee. I think I might have done this a bit wide actually. That looks more like the right shape, but we'll see. So now this is the freehand path, so you can draw lines with it. You don't want it to be exact because it's natural. So you think you're doing antennas, you only want one, and then you're doing a leg coming out of there. And I would do it a bit, not too curly, but a bit curly. And then the leg coming down here, you think it's going to go like that, come down, and then flip out a little bit, just like that. Click back on the arrow, and then for each one we're going to offset. Now for the big leg at the bottom, I want to offset by 0.08 because they've got to be a little bit bigger. So we'll do that. You take it off, you can get rid of the line. It just means it gives us the perfect cutting line. I think that should really join up there. It looks like it needs to be a bit bigger, maybe a bit longer, like that. And again, you can duplicate it. So layer, duplicate, flip sideways, not up to down, and attach it to the other side. Now these two you want to do at 0.4 because otherwise I feel like they are too thick. So if you prefer that, you go ahead and do that. So again, layer, duplicate and flip, and they attach up here. Tell you what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull him up a little bit. Oh, that's a bit better, isn't it? Let's get you up a bit as well. Yeah, I think that looks better. So you can play around with pulling him in, you know, pulling the length down, making him skinnier, whatever you like. That's going to satisfy how you feel about it. And that's just the antenna. Again, it's 0.4 already on there. So get rid of the original drawing. One on one side, layer, duplicate and flip. There we go. So now, if you're happy with where it all is, I know he's only got 4 legs, but another leg would be behind the wings. So I think if we try to add another leg in, it would look a bit strange. But if you want to, go right ahead. So there's your main bee. Now what we could do, I just wanted to show you. I wonder actually if that one would work. No, I think we'll make our own. So how I make a like stripe is to get a circle, duplicate it. Now you know, I don't know if you remember when we done the spiral trees, we made the spirals like this as well. I think this needs to go, could use the oval I guess. There we go. So that looks more like it. So what I'm going to do instead actually is pick that and duplicate it. And then what you need to do is just work out where you think a stripe would go. How big it would be. Think about that. What do you think? So then let's take it off the bee so we don't subtract that instead. Okay, so click on them both and subtract. I just thought I didn't do it right, but that's alright. What happens with subtract is the top layer subtracts from the bottom. So what I done there, when I took them off, I put the bottom layer at the top, so it's subtracted the wrong bit, but that's alright, we can just flip it and it's almost like the same bit anyway. So now if we make it a little bit smaller, you could even stretch it out a little bit if you like. You could do a couple of them being cut out as well, so that you get the B shape cut out, and maybe then you cut the main part out in black and then you can cut the a bit of yellow to go behind so that the yellow stripes come through. So that looks more like a bee really, doesn't it? Yeah, I kind of like that. So that's one bee. If we just group that, what I want is a few bees to put on the canvas in different sizes. Let me just get rid of this one. I've got the stamp from Indigo Blue and I really want to use that because I've wanted to use it for so long because I just adore it. So we're going to use that, and then I just thought if we say layer, duplicate, we can do different sizes. Yeah, what I thought would be a good idea would be to just kind of start changing the shapes of some of them maybe. And obviously we want lots of different sizes, so we'll duplicate that one. Maybe we'll make some really small fat ones. So you can do that, do all different shapes, and just make a different style of bees. And we'll have the one in Indigo Blues stamp that we can use. I really want to use that. And just cut out as many as you can, really. I'd have a couple that size and go from there. I mean, you don't want them too big. Actually, they're quite big. What's the size of these? Yeah, maybe we'll put them down a bit, actually. Sometimes you forget the size you're doing, don't you? Okay, so you want about 5 different sizes, because what we're going to do is have some big bees going off into small bees. The other thing I think we need to talk about is if you want to put the yellow behind the bee, then what we need to do is we'll do it with the one bee, and then we can size it all down to the same thing. So we need the shapes again, so we'll just get an oval, I think, and it will go behind the bee, so we can have some yellow stripes on a black bee. So the oval, and if we move in close, there, we'll just kind of, that's it. If we move in a bit closer, you can see that it's better to work out, because you want it to cover the stripes but not go over the body, because you don't want to see it coming outside. That's it, like that. There we go. And then if you do that as a yellow circle, we can put it behind and it will look like it's got yellow stripes. So now we're going to get a smaller shape. I use this when I want to separate things, because we want some wings as well, whether you want to cut them out in acetate or vellum. You use this. If you size it down, then we can use the subtract. I'll show you how to do it, and it just cuts off everything we don't need. So make sure that it covers what you want to take away. Like that. That one can come in a bit, actually, and then we can go further up and cut more off. There we go. And then we'll select it all and subtract. And then you need to divide before you do anything else. So there we go. We don't need that. We'll get rid of that, and we'll get rid of them, because we don't need them. That's what we need. So then we can get rid of the middle piece. So what I'll do is, if I duplicate the oval, we can put it over there, and again subtract. We just make sure it fits, so we don't want to cut off any of the wing that we need. There we go. Select both again and subtract, and there we have the wings. And then if you divide them, you've got them separate, so they're not taking up so much space on the board. Hi, so now I am going to show you how to make a stencil of honeycomb, so that it will go with our lovely bees. It's actually a lot simpler than it actually looks. So we're going to go to the offset, which is over here, and we need it quite high, so I've done it at 28. This is because we need quite a big gap, as you can see there. So then what we're going to do, we're going to send the larger one behind, because to remove the overlap we need the smaller one in the front. So then remove overlap, and it takes the center out. Now I'm just going to resize it a little bit. I'm not really sure what size. Sizing is always up here. I need it a bit bigger than that, I think. We need to turn it as well. Okay, so layer, duplicate. Layer, duplicate. Now we need to get in closer just to make sure that it has gone over it perfectly, because you can see it's not perfect like we would like it. So if we select all three, make sure that they're level all together, so all meet at the bottom. And let's have a look. I think that one, I thought so. There we go. You see the difference where the lines have gone a lot thinner. Too far that way. There we go, that's perfect. Once you, just as a quick tip, once you've removed the overlap on a shape, you can't click in the middle because there's nothing there. So you have to click between the two shapes that we've put together. Just thought I'd do that as a quick tip to let you know. So now we're going to do all three and weld. Now display, zoom to matte size, and now we're going to duplicate that one. And we do it again. And again, we need to zoom in to make sure that they're perfectly fitted. So again, you can see the lines are a bit thicker. We need to move it. I'm using the arrows to move just because it's a bit easier. Looks like it needs to go to the left a little. There we go. Right. And then this one. That went to the left a little as well. There we go. That looks fine. So again, we'll group all of it. Well, not group it. Select all and weld. And then we'll come back out because we need to know what we're doing to make this. So now we can duplicate that. Again. Didn't do very well there, did I? So I've got and I think maybe that one. No, wrong way. So is it that way? There we go. That looks okay to me. So select and weld. We need to keep going out so that we can see it at full size and make sure that we're doing it okay. So there's a honeycomb shape. You can do it thinner or more. But what I don't want is a border because that doesn't seem right to me. I don't know. It wouldn't be real. Let's add another one just to tell you what we'll do though. We'll flip it. So, think there. or I think I like that. Oh, change to the magnifying glass and then do that. Back to the arrow. There we go. So again, select both and weld. And there we have our honeycomb stencil. Just bring it down so it fits the mat. And there we go. So then what I want you to do is to cut one out in a stencil format. Now, I did have some dough flecks, but I can't place my hands on it, so I'm going to cut it out in acetate and use the acetate as a stencil. It's firm enough to be able to use as a stencil. Then what I want you to do is to cut two out in card, because we're going to stick some on like textured, so that we've got a bit of build up as well. Just going to put that to the side because then we need a text. And I found this amazing quote, so I'm going to do that. I think it can suit us all. So we start off it goes in every woman there is a queen. So my idea is to do a queen bee with lots of bees around and have that as a quote. So in every, we're going to do lots of different texts, fonts even, sorry. Actually, I don't want that one in capitals. Let's take the caps. In every woman. There is a queen. Okay, so if we start with this one. I've got a particular font that I've got in mind for this. I have loads of fonts. I'm really a bit obsessive about fonts. There it is. I really like this one. And I'm going to use it on there as well. So it should be right at the top now that we've used it. Once you've used a font in the same sitting, then it's the first one that comes up. There you go. Now, woman, I want it to be very cursive. So, not so cursive that you can't read what it actually says. Okay, so you can see here that they're not joined together. Let me get in closer so I can show you. There's cut lines there with which we need to get rid of, but also the W is nowhere near the rest. So what we need to do first, if we just press weld, it will weld all of these. There we go. So then what we're going to have to do is divide it. And then if we click on that one and use your arrows on the keyboard and bring it close enough just so it crosses over, and then select the two and weld again. And there we go. So now display zoom to max size. So we've got in every woman there is a queen. We need to choose a font for queen. There we go. So now what we need to do is arrange it. So let's start with this one. If it's easier for you, zoom in. We can use this area here, which is letter spacing. We want to divide them, but where the letters are already crossed over, that can cause a problem. So what we need to do is separate all the letters so that there's no crossovers here. There we go. Now we can divide. And then what we're going to do is move each letter in a little bit. Then one more. That should do it. So them two are done. Now if we move that one that way a little bit. Oh, wrong way. That should do it. So I'm trying to cross over the top with the bottom. That one can go in a little bit more, I think, because we can't get the bottom in there. Let's see how that works. There we go. We've done woman. Okay, so we need to spread these out a little bit. Just see there's a little bit of crossover, not a lot, but if we don't do that, when you divide, it also divides the separate little bits that cross over. Oh. I do think that E needs to be joined at the top as well. otherwise it might be too fine. Actually, this might work. Just okay, I think I got it there. And weld. So I went to -10 for this. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, so display, zoom to matte size, and now what we've got to do is put it all together. So if we just bring them all up a little bit. And then we can zoom in again to the whole thing and make sure we've got it as we want it. So I think I want woman to be a lot bigger because that's the one of the important we're going to try and join all these letters together. So I think that might look nicer down here. So, like I am, you just play around with it until you're happy. You don't have to do it exactly like me. You do it what you're happy with. Let's see that then. So I'm selecting it all and welding. We'll see how that turns out. There we go. So now we have one whole piece, and we can put that, zoom to max size, we can put that somewhere on the work we're doing. Okay, that's it for now. To be honest, it's just the actual focus on the Canvas tutorial today, and next time we're going to be making a work of art with what we've just made. So I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.